Hi everyone, we are moving into section 1.2 of the software development and design chapter. So far, we have talked about data formats for XML and JSON and YAML. We have discussed what they are and why they are used and how they are structured. But let's be honest, we all wish data come in perfect little boxes, clean, organized, and consistent. In reality though, data is often messy, various in structure, and comes in all sorts of formats. That's why it's important to know how to work with it. This is where parsing comes in. In this video, we are shifting from just understanding the formats to actually parsing them, and we will start with XML. And I will show you how to read an XML file in Python, move through its elements, and extract the data you need using the built-in XML module. So if you are working towards your DevNet certification, or you just wanted to get more confident working with real-world data in your scripts, this is a great step forward, especially for network automation and dealing with data from APIs or devices. And for those who would like to have a copy of the code used in this lesson, you will find the link to the post in the description below. Now I will go through an example and walk you through how you can parse data from an XML file. As you can see on the screen, we have an XML file called device.xml. This file describes the configuration for a network device, specifically a Cisco router named router01, and it is located at data center 1. The router's model is a Cisco ISR 4400X, and it is running iOS XE version 17.9.3. It has two active interfaces. The first interface is Gig Ethernet 0/0, and it is used as the WAN link with an IP address of 203.0.113.1 and a very small subnet mask. And this means it connects to another specific device like an ISP router. The other interface, which is Gig Ethernet 01, and it is used for the LAN segment, and it is using the 192.168.1.1 as the gateway for the internal devices. On the routing side, there is a default static route that is pointing all unknown traffic to 203.0.113.2. This is typically for internet-bound traffic. It also has OSPF, which stands for Open Shortest Path First, configured with process ID 1, and the router ID is 1.1.1.1. It advertises the 192.168.1.0/24 network into area 0, which is the OSPF backbone area. So in summary, this config sets up a basic but solid foundation for a network device connected to both internal and external networks, and participating in OSPF for dynamic routing within an enterprise network. Okay, so now that you have an overview of the XML file, let's shift our focus to the Python code. So I'm going to change the window to parse_xml.py to reveal the code that we are going to use. And instead of writing the code line by line in real time, I have prepared it in advance so I can walk you through how it works, break it down, and explain why it is structured the way it is. There are so many ways to approach a coding problem. What works for one person might look different for someone else. In my experience, there isn't always one correct way to write code, as long as you are achieving the intended outcome. That said, some approaches are more efficient or maintainable or better suited for reuse, depending on your goals, whether it's performance or readability or scalability. You may choose to structure your code differently. Now let's dive into the actual code. We will begin by importing the modules and libraries that we will use later in the script, and this is the first step. So in line number 11, we are importing Python's built-in XML parser library, and it is called ElementTree. That gives us tools to parse and work with XML data. If we then move to line number 13, here we are creating a function named parse_xml_config that takes one argument. That is the file_path variable, which should be the path to your XML file. We will get back to this function in a minute, but let's keep going for now. So from line number 52 all the way to line number 54, this is where the script starts. However, there is an if statement that we will call the function if the script is executed directly and not being imported. It sets the XML file name in a variable, and that variable called XML underscore file. And it also calls the parse underscore XML underscore config function to begin processing. And it also parses the XML underscore file path to the function. So now that we have explained the main component of the code, let's break down the function itself. So I'm going to expand the function by clicking on that chevron. And the first step is to parse the XML file and returns an element tree object. That object will be called tree. Now that we have the object, we can then retrieve the root element of the XML document so we can start navigating from the top. And then after that, we move into the device information section. So line number 17, we are mainly printing a statement that says device information. And then after that, we will then reading the device information and we are assigning it to an object called device. Next, we will iterate through all the child elements of device like host name or management IP and prints their tag name and text content. Next, we are going to tackle or parse the interface information. So in line number 23, we are printing a statement interfaces, and then we are going to find the interfaces block from the XML file, and then we are going to loop over each interface inside it. So for each interface, it prints the tag and value. For example, the name, which is the tag, and then the value will be gig ethernet 0/0. And then after that, we're going to move into the routing section, and here we are passing the routing information. So we will locate the routing block to handle both static routes and OSPF configurations. So under line 33, we will be looking for static routes. Under routing, we will iterate through each route and prints its components, such as destination or subnet mask and next hop. Next, we're going to go to the OSPF section. So here we are going to find the OSPF configuration. If the element.tag is not networks, then it just prints it directly. For example, we have the process ID, the router ID. However, if it encounters the networks section, it loops over each network, printing the IP address, the wildcard, and the area. Okay, so now that I have explained each block of code, what it does, and the purpose behind it, let's go ahead and execute the script. So as you can see on the screen, we have printed the device information. We can see the host name is router 1, the location is in data center 1, and the vendor is Cisco, and the model is ISR 4400, etc, etc. We can also find the couple of interfaces, the WAN interface and the LAN interface. And also finally, we can see the routing information where we can see static routes as well as the OSPF configurations. That's it for this video. I hope it was informative for you. If you found it helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and turn notifications so you never miss our future tutorials and tech insights. If you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to drop a comment below. And to read more about this topic, be sure to check out my blog. You will find the link in the description below. And remember, consistency and hands-on practice are key to success. So stay curious, stay inspired, and until next time, peace.